Director of Neptune Capital. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I have a cup of water in my hand. It's clean and it's drinkable. Wow, so refreshing. But do any of you know that after you notice this, you realize that in countries like Singapore, it's actually very easy and actually very, very convenient to access a cup of water like this. But how many of you actually know that among the people in the world, and among all the countries in the world, there are political and military conflicts being waged as we speak to secure clean and drinkable water for people around the world? How many of you actually know that out of all these people, there are actually at least about, there's 1 out of every 8 people in the world, according to the World Bank, that don't even have access to clean and drinkable water? Just think about that for a moment. It is such a crucial resource in our lives that most of us take for granted. Now, wouldn't you all want to do something about it? If I tell you that there's actually a way to do something about it, wouldn't you want, if you have the power, to help to alleviate this situation and to perhaps maybe help these people who are in need? Well, okay, 884 million people in the world worldwide have no access to drinkable water. Really. Just imagine, these people need our help, and most of them are in far and less developed countries. In fact, you will realize that without water, you won't even be able to be in this room just to talk about it. Without water, you won't even be here. You won't even be sitting in this place. So some people think that oil is the blood of everything, but actually, I believe, we at Neptune Capital believe, and I think that you also believe that water could be more precious than oil. And tonight, there is a way to alleviate this situation. And there is a way to even make money doing this. We at Neptune Capital, we are an investment holdings and fund management company. It is regulated by the Monetary Authority of Singapore and the US Securities Exchange Commission. So we are a very well-known company in the West, and we have large stakes in private equity, venture capital, and fund management in water-related investments. So you might ask, what exactly are these investments about? We actually invest money into companies that we think will help to deliver and generate clean water. And this water will be brought along to these people who are in need in the world. And we also believe that our investors, our clients, perhaps yourself, need to earn an adequate amount of return upon the capital that you have invested with us. We also believe that at Neptune, we also believe that superior returns is one of our prime objectives. And water in itself as a commodity is actually inflationary hedge because it is inelastic in supply. We all need it. And additionally, for all of you who invest with us, you might be planning for your retirement. You might be planning for a family's portfolio. You need to earn some money on your family. And also you might want to retire comfortably with all your cars or houses or all your luxurious country club memberships. And education is so expensive nowadays. Your kids need the best schools and need the best educational degrees. But they're so expensive. So we understand that, and we know that we can actually provide you this alternative for you, should you choose to invest with us. And we understand that your money is very important to you, and we will do a good job. In fact, we believe that water is so much of an opportunity that has been classified as a mega trend by Goldman Sachs and Credit Suisse and a lot of other investment banks around the world. There's huge amounts of problems in this sector, and dozens, in fact hundreds of entrepreneurs, academics, and researchers and engineers are working on this problem as we speak right now. There are all over the papers, you can read about it. It's all over the news now nowadays. And unfortunately for the world, there is an uneven distribution of water most populous countries in the world suffer shortages. Southern India, North China, Israel, Jordan, Middle East. All the countries suffer shortages. The countries that are not suffering shortages tend to have a lesser amount of population relative to the size of the country, which is quite unfortunate. As you can see from this chart, according to the World Bank, China, India, Middle East, and North Africa suffer problem of these chronic shortages of water. And their governments recognize it because you can have tremendous amount of economic growth in the country and prosperity, but without water, everything will grind to a halt. So the Chinese government knows this, Indian government knows this. They are investing heavily in the water sectors and water companies that will help to protect and so-called deliver this precious commodity to their people and for the sake of the national security. And these are the above macro factors that put the situation worse in terms of water supplies. There is a amount of global pollution. There's so much pollution in this world that a lot of this pollution is spilling over into freshwater supplies. And global warming and desertification actually threatens a lot of areas in the world. Countries that live near desert areas like in Sahara and in the Gobi Desert in Africa and Mongolia, they are actually experiencing this problem. And expanding middle class across the developing countries actually put pressure on freshwater supplies because, unfortunately, according to history, when humans tend to get more prosperous, we tend to consume more meat. More meat means more livestock production. More livestock production means more water because obviously a pig needs more water than a corn plant. So plant-based agriculture it only requires a limited amount of water relative to livestock production. So an expanding middle class across the world puts pressure on freshwater supplies. Okay, we at NFTU have all the expertise there. We have a bunch of talented analysts and investment professionals. They have connections and experience in the water sector. And we are in the best position to leverage on this expertise. We have come up with 3 investment products for all of you. 3, not 1, 3. According to your own risk appetites, according to your own preferences. Our first fund, Neptune Supernus, okay, let's call it Supernus. It's our own in-house private equity fund. It invests in smaller companies, growth-orientated, and these companies deliver technology and water technology and services for the private water sector. It is higher risk in nature and expected return per annum on average. I know it's a finance lecture, but it's about 10.5 to 18% per annum. Our medium risk fund, for any of you who are not very sure whether you are really into the high risk thing, you're not really sure whether you can risk the capital, but you want something that gives you steady returns and catch yourself away from inflation. So I want Neptune Mergers. We invest for the fund into public listed companies across the world. And these companies we believe have good, solid base business models, and the expected return per annum for this medium fund is about 9 to 13% on average per annum. And for those of you who still say, okay, it's too much for me. No, I'm not, I just want something that is low risk and I just want to protect my capital and perhaps earn some money on it. We have AP8, which is very conservatively managed, value orientated, and it invests in a combination of bonds and equities. And these companies that AP8 invests in usually is investing in companies that are heavily invested with governments. So it is very relatively safe. You can assure that governments will bail them out if something goes wrong. Expected return per annum for a conservative fund is still pretty good, 7.5% to 10%. So we have all these products lined up for you. We are ready to offer them to you at any cost. And now you might be wondering, how much do I need to put in? What's the amount of capital that you need to put down? How many years do you need to commit to that? No problem. Our minimum amount is 10,000. No maximum cap. You can put 1 million, so you accept it, and it's open-ended. However, our lockup period is 5 years. And you can actually choose to stay longer than 5 years if you should you choose to decide. Or you can, after the 5 years, you earn your money, you can carry on with it. Let's consider alternatives out there, and we're talking about passive investments. Singapore government bonds, risk-free, but 2% per annum. I don't think you guys will want that. You guys deserve better than that. Index Straits Times, okay, if you put your money in the index fund, it tracks the Straits Times index, 4.5%. Property, for those of you who buy property, 6% per annum on average, according to 2012 data. And for REITs, we have the best return so far, but it's very crowded, 8%. So we have, even our lowest risk fund is somewhere along the best out there for you. And we are talking about money you put away, and you can just carry on your work. Okay. Our sole competitor is Poseidon. Yeah, in-house private equity fund, open only to high net worth individuals, with a minimum capital outlay of 2 million. And the lockup period is 10 years. The expected return per annum is just coincidental with our Supernas fund. So, our advantage over Poseidon is that we have a very big structure that you can put accordingly, according to your preference. There's no restriction amount, unlike Poseidon. So we give you more flexibility. And you can even structure such that you want a combination of the primo and Supernas, or something everything in the middle, or maybe a little bit in the high end. So we believe it all up to you. Our investment bankers are here tonight, so you can talk to them later. And it's easy, simple, and safe. Additionally, because we have experience in the water sector, we are best positioned to leverage our expertise. Everybody knows in Poseidon, everybody knows that it's actually public knowledge that they all are investment professionals, but they do not have experience in the water sector. So comparatively, we are best positioned to leverage on this expertise. Now I'd like to open the floor for any questions.
Okay, you're saying 10K is the minimum, right? Okay, in terms of how many? Like 10K, so I can...
One lump sum.
One time. So is it in terms of 5,000 or just of 10,000?
One lump sum. That's one lump sum.
1,000. Okay. So can I have the prospectus later? I'll take a look at it.
Sure, no problem. Sure, no problem. Any more questions?
I have a question. What exactly have you done? What makes this so different? I think you mentioned anything about other companies.
We have only one competitor in this sector, and that is Poseidon. So I'm going to mention that only one sole competitor. So
that's yourself.
no, Poseidon is our competitor. We are in Neptune. At the moment, they are the leads. Thank you very much for your attention, ladies and gentlemen. My fund manager, please look behind, Zai Wei, is available for you for prospectors and for available information. My capital time broker is from Morgan Stanley, and the investment banker is Charlotte. If there's any questions you have. Thank you very much for your attention.